Hello and welcome to this week's life lesson. You are welcome to join me to watch this video live stream, or you can come back and watch it later. Either way, your presence here, your participation here, you taking time out to watch these videos are greatly appreciated. I am so grateful for your presence either way. So, how have you guys' week been so far? I had to think about my week. Oh my goodness. My week has been challenging. I had a very busy weekend, a very fun-filled weekend, doing the things that I love to do the most. When I left you guys on Friday, I told you that I would be doing some things that I love to do most. One which is dancing and just going out, enjoying my life and enjoying myself. So that was basically what my weekend was filled with. And it felt like something tried to come down on me. You can probably still hear it in my voice a little bit. So please bear with me as I push through delivering this message. But I do feel better than what I have done, but I will say than I have for the last 2 days. The last 2 days were pretty much very challenging for me because I felt like something was trying to attack my body, so I had to fight back against that. What that was, I don't know, but I do feel much better now. I feel like whatever it was is clearing out of my system. But despite of all of that, I still had an amazing week so far, just doing things for myself mentally and emotionally, and just centering my thoughts and not allowing myself to be overtaken by negative thoughts. When we did a commitment challenge. I forgot, willingness was my life lesson last week. Excuse me. That was our message last week, was willingness. And I said, how many of you are willing to commit yourself to doing something for 5 days? So I was willing to commit to focusing more on my mental health, just taking time out each day to take a pause and redirect my thoughts and try to allow my thoughts to be positive, opposed to allowing negative thoughts to take over me and control my mood and all of those type of things. So I am proud of myself for the progress that I've made, but that is something that I want to continue to do in my journey, because that is the true success of any man as well, who knows how to control their own mind and their own thoughts, because your thoughts give you direction on where you want to go in life. And if you are a person with a predominantly negative thought pattern, that is what is going to constantly show up in your life on a regular basis. So you don't want to be that person. So I don't know who jumped in with that willingness commitment challenge. It was just for 5 days. The 5 days are over. I did complete that challenge, but it is something that I found to be very effective to me. Mental health is everything to me. We have mental health Mondays where I try to do things purposefully that I know is going to strengthen my mental health. I do yoga every Monday. I make it a priority to go out to the lake and just be one with nature, even if it's just simply going to take a nap out at the lake, which I love to do, or just listen to the birds or the waterfalls, even if it's just for 10 or 15 or 20 minutes. I know it does something for me. It does something for everyone, whether you know it or not, just allowing yourself to be out in nature. So I allowed myself to do those things this week. Amongst other things, I'm very mindful of the thoughts that go through my mind on the regular basis, because I don't want my mental capacity to be a roadblock on my journey through life. I don't want to keep getting caught up and hung up on negative thoughts and negative images and negative people and negative past situations and old traumas and all of those type of things. I don't want those old emotions and all of those things to continue to steer flare up, and every time you allow these thoughts to resurface in your mind, it's like the situation replaying itself all over again, and you will literally stop yourself from growing, loving, learning, being happy and joyful, and all of the things, having peace of mind, all of the things that you truly want for your life, because we are allowing ourselves to be taken back by these negative thoughts that are serving us no purpose. So I am focusing a lot on my mental health today. I will continue to do so. It is very important. It is a wise thing to do for anyone who wants a better life for themselves. We cannot control the things that happens in life, but we can control how we show up and deal with these situations as we are confronted with the situations of life. And we cannot allow ourselves to be overtaken in any kind of way, because then we can allow ourselves to be victim of circumstance, and we want to be victorious. We want to be able to tell the story of how we made it through. We don't want to just lay down and be victims of the things that happens to us in life. So everything starts in the mind. So if you want to allow yourself to be committed to anything, then that's a good place for anyone to start as well. If you want to commit yourself to a better health journey, if you have been struggling within your health for a very long time, a physically fit person has to be health conscious first. You have to want these things within yourself, within your mind. You have to think about wanting to be healthy on the regular basis. Imagine yourself not having to struggle with the issues within your health that you have struggled with for so long. Think healthy thoughts. If you want to be a wealthy person, if you want to see things turn around for you within your finances, and you don't want to struggle with your finances, and don't be talking about I'm broke and I'm poor and what you don't have, think wealthy thoughts. We have to get out of the poverty mindset if we want to see ourselves grow financially. So anything that you want in life, I just use those two things for an example, but I guess you can use love, for instance. If you want to be in a loving and compassionate relationship, if you want a career change, I don't know. If you want the body that you always dreamed of having, if you want to be more physically fit, the things that you have been struggling with in your mind, and you've been thinking about, and you've been fantasizing about, the things that you desire within your heart and within your mind. You have to set these things up in your mind as your reality. Imagination is everything. So I decided to focus more on my mental health today, because I find it to be effective, and I believe that it will carry me a long way in life. So this is not anything new, like totally new, that I'm doing. I realized the importance of it when I realized how much the trauma of my past had power and control over my mind and my thoughts. And those are things that we cannot control. The things that people do to us that causes us trauma. It could be anything. You could be in an accident, and any kind of accident that causes trauma. You can have PSTD. You could be a soldier in the army. I was going to say the United States Army, but any army. You could be a soldier and have fought in the war, and you have to get over those past traumas. Everything is mental. And if we don't learn how to fix these things in our mind and work on it and focus on kind of not allowing our traumas to take control over our life, then we will be overpowered and controlled by the things that go through our mind on the everyday basis. So it's time for us to learn how to focus more on having a positive frame of mind. So that's what I choose to focus on doing today. So happy new beginnings, everyone. We have arrived to the beginning of a new month. I had to change the page on my calendar today. I know a lot of people use digital calendars, or probably the calendars always on your phone, but I do keep a calendar up on my wall, and just changing it from April to May. Wow. Just wow. OMG. What is that? The 5th month? We are almost halfway through 2024. In June, that's 6 months into the year. That's when I will be presenting my Happy New You challenge. That is something that I have been doing annually, the halfway mark of every year. I try to allow myself to focus on doing something before the new year comes in that is going to usher in the life that I desire in my heart, whatever that means for me, whatever that looks like for me. So I invite anyone to join in with me on my Happy New You challenge. It is May 1st. You have until June to think about what you want to do for the Happy New You challenge. But that is insane that we are almost 6 months into the year. It seems like we just celebrated New Year's. I mean, it seems like we just celebrated Christmas. I cannot believe how quick these months are flying past. The weeks are flying past. It seems like as soon as I deliver one life lesson, here comes Wednesday again, and it's time for me to deliver a life lesson again. But oh my gosh, what are we going to do with ourselves? What are we going to do with this time? What does this time mean for us? What does that mean for you? What does that look like for you? Time is flying. These weeks and months and days and years are going by like a freaking bolt of lightning. Like, what are we going to do when we look back on our lives and on ourselves, even looking back on the beginning of 2024 and yourself right now? Have you made any changes within yourself? Do you see any differences within yourself? Do you have any more peace of mind? Are you happier? Are you healthier? Do you have a clear direction on what you want for yourself and for your life? What does your life look like to you now compared to what it looked like 5 months ago or even 6 months ago? This is crazy. I just want to continue to work on myself. I can't speak for nobody else. I want to continue to be obedient to God, to allow God to do the work that He is doing inside of me, and I want to be willing and open and able and receptive to new things and new changes, and working on myself and not being stuck and stagnant and making excuses for myself and for my life why I can't or won't move forward, because I know there is so much life for me to live, especially because all of the suffering and the living and the learning that I had to do in my past. So I believe that there is way more life available for me, opposed to the life that I had to fight through to get to where I am right now. So I honestly feel like it is the beginning for me. I'm really excited about where I am in my life today and the things that God has for me. I know that is just so much more. So I'm like anxious. I'm like a kid in a toy store. You know, I'm just anxious and looking forward to new things and discovering new things and picking up new things and discovering parts of me that I didn't even know exist, probably. And I just want to continue to move forward with my life. So I want to encourage you all today to take a reflection on your life. This time is going by so fast. It is freaking mind-blowing how quick these months are turning around for us. So we want to be able to see positive change within our life, and if you do not see positive change in your life, you may want to change direction or do something that is going to guarantee a sense of positive change in your life today. So be encouraged to do that. So we should see this new beginning, the first of this brand new month, the first of May. Happy May, everyone. That's what I'm talking about right now. So we should see this as an opportunity to do new things. So basically, I said all of that to say that what do you want to do new with yourself and with your life? So, of course, again, welcome to this week's life lesson. Let's live, learn, and grow. Do not deny yourself these things. There is so much life we can live, learn, and grow together. Before we jump into this week's life lesson, please join me in a few moments of silent gratitude. When we are grateful, we are blessed. I feel like I always say or begin to say that I'm not going to go off on you guys about the importance of expressing gratitude on a regular basis, and then I say it and I end up like completely going off about expressing gratitude anyway. And let me just say that just goes to show the how compassionate I am about learning how to be grateful on a regular basis. I just check myself on that so much, and I feel like, am I expressing gratitude enough? Am I grateful enough? I don't want a moment of my life to go by where I am not expressing gratitude for where I am in life and the things that I have and the health of my children and all of those things. I know I'm blessed, and I know that it is important for me to acknowledge how blessed I am. Not only because I want to be more blessed, it literally opens me up to more blessings, but God wants us to acknowledge the fact that we see the things that he's doing for us on the regular basis. He does not have to bless you. God can skip past you and continue to bless someone who knows how to be grateful. So don't deny yourself being grateful on the regular basis. You are not doing God a favor, because God is God. God is going to get glorified whether you do it personally or not. That's just how huge God is, and so many people across the world. God is going to get glorified and praise for the things that he does on a regular basis. But you are literally doing yourself such major justice for yourself, for your mind, for your future, for everything. It brings you a sense of peace when you are able to humble yourself and say that I am grateful for being as blessed as I am. So before we jump into this week's life lesson, let's just close our eyes collectively. I would really appreciate it if we could do this collectively for those of you who are joined into this live stream, or whenever you tap into this video. Go ahead on and take advantage of the opportunity to take a few moments of silent gratitude. So I'm going to close my eyes, take a couple deep breaths, and think of the things that I am mostly grateful for. So here we go. That is wonderful. For me, that is amazing. I feel myself just lifting up on the inside. I know I always say that, but it is absolutely true. I just feel my vibrations rising when I allow myself to be grateful in that manner on the regular basis. So I try to make that a part of my everyday walk. I want my life to be a walking expression of gratitude, because I truly am grateful. I know that my situation could be worse despite of what I have to go through on the day by day basis. I know my life is not perfect. No one's life is perfect, but I know that I am very blessed, and you are probably more blessed than you realize, or than what you give yourself credit for. So just taking those moments out to point out your blessings, name your blessings, acknowledge your blessings, say thank you for your blessings. That will do so much for you. It will put you in a place where you want to be, where you need to be, where you would rather be, instead of putting your place on low vibrational levels. Excuse me, where you are just probably complaining and not happy, or don't have peace of mind, or just is not in a good place. You will attract those negative vibrations toward yourself, the people, the situations, the circumstances, the arguing, the bickering, the always bumping heads with people, and all of those type of things. That is what you are doing to yourself when you choose to not be grateful, when you choose to complain and not focus on the things that you are blessed with on the regular basis. You are lowering yourself to a lower vibrational level in life, and there is no goodness there. There are not good things. There are not great things. They're not blissful and blessed and beautiful and pretty and smell good things and happy things and gifts and wonders and health and laughter and love. That is not where those things vibrate at. Good things do not vibrate at low levels. So if you want to do yourself a favor, you want to get in the habit of being grateful, counting your blessings, so you can lift yourself up and be in a good place in life. So don't only do that here while you're with me. Make it a habit to constantly allow yourself to be consumed with thoughts of gratefulness on the regular basis. Despite of whatever is going on around you, it is very important for you to allow yourself to be consumed in gratefulness. It will help you. I promise you that it will. So are you guys ready for this week's topic? Listen, y'all ain't gonna like me today, and I don't care. God has impressed this message on my heart for quite some time. He did not reveal to me that it was time for me to deliver this message until now. So God gave me humility today. So I had it in my heart to do a message on humility for quite some time, and I may have even mentioned it to you. I know I never did a message on humbleness or humility. I know this is a very important message. Like I said, I'm going to lose some friends today, and I don't care, because we need to know the importance of humbleness and humility. We are damaging ourselves in a way that we probably don't even realize that we are damaging ourselves, because we don't know how to put ourselves in our proper place. Put yourself in the place that you need to be at as far as humility is concerned. I'm telling you, you want to check yourself, because the other way, if you got to be checked, you ain't going to like it. And I see a lot of people out here got to be checked. And I see a lot of people that get checked on a regular basis. And the people that I see get checked on a regular basis are the people with the least amount of humility that I see, that does not have a humble freaking bone in their body. People who think it's okay to walk around with this cockiness and arrogance and just thinking that they are somebody that is over top of everybody, and then they have to get that reality check by God. I don't ever want God to have to give me a reality check, which I probably do have to get put in my place from time to time, but I hope that's like on a low level. I don't want God to have to check me, because it ain't going to be pretty. And the things that I see that people suffer with now on the regular basis as far as humility is concerned, and I know it's because a lot of people are refusing to humble themselves and not allowing humility to be a part of their regular practice. I don't want to be humbled in that way. I just don't. So I choose to remind myself of how small I am on the regular basis. I'm just regular. I'm a regular person just like anyone else. I don't ever want to see myself as the type of person who think that I am so much more than anyone else, because I'm not. And neither are you. No one is. We are all human beings living in this world together. And a lot of people need to be humbled. And, I don't even want you to have to be humble. I want you to realize if you need to be humble or not, and to humble yourself. Because if you don't, it is not going to be pretty. So let's go ahead and jump into this message on humility. So what is humility? Humility is the lack of pride and the quality of being humble. God does not like pride. He just doesn't. God does not like a person that is filled with pride. Now, being proud of yourself for accomplishments that you have made over time and all of those type of things, there's nothing wrong with being proud of yourself for how far you have came in life or something like that. But a person that is just puffed up with pride and not even recognizing the fact that you wouldn't have anything that you have if it was not for the grace of God. I give God the glory for everything. You could call me crazy, you could call me whatever you want to call me, but I know that none of this would be possible if it was not for the grace of God. That is a sense of humility right there, where you know where your blessings come from, but you got these self-made folks out here who are all puffed up. I'm self-made, and I grind from the bottom, and I made it from the bottom, and you don't know what I had to do to make it from the bottom. It's a lot of people who was at that bottom, that same bottom that you made it from, that did not even survive to tell their story, that were just wiped clean out of here from the same circumstances that you began in, and you were not even humble enough to say, thank God that I made it. Thank God that I'm not the person with RIP on somebody's t-shirt, or or something like that. Like, some people can't even humble themselves enough to recognize the fact that you don't even have to be here. I promise you, you don't. It's somebody that laid down last night that did not even wake up this morning. And if you cannot realize that it's only by the grace of God that you are where you are today, that is no humility, none whatsoever. So, a truly humble person is someone who doesn't think of themselves as better than anyone else. That is what a truly humble person is. So humbleness and humility goes hand in hand. Yes, my message is on humility, but you will hear me using the word humble a lot, because during this study I came across the word humble. Well, it was really no way of getting around not incorporating the word humble in this message on humility. So having humility is a part of being humble. So a person who does not think of themselves as better than anyone else is a person of true humility. I encounter less fortunate people on the regular basis. In fact, I put myself in places where people are not as fortunate as I am, that are not as blessed that I am. For whatever reason, I choose not to judge them, their weaknesses, however they found themselves to end up wherever they ended up in life. And I am humble enough to know to not get around these people and act like I'm better than them, because I'm not. Because just as they are where they are in life right now, that could be me. And I know it can. I have struggled with drug and alcohol addiction. I have struggled with bad decision making. I come from a very dark place in life. I had to fight through childhood traumas, and I am a survivor of childhood molestation and abuse and mental abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, all of the things that I had to fight through in life. Is you never know why someone is where they have ended up where they ended up. And on top of that, that could be you. I know in any given second that could have been me. It's only by the grace of God that I am not sitting in that person's seat, and they could be the one standing up and talking to me and telling their testimony to me and how God has allowed them to make it through. So I know that I am not better than anyone else. And I don't ever want to be the type of person to feel like that I am better than a single soul. No one in this world is better than any other individuals. Ooh, ouch. I know a lot of people ain't going to like that. You don't want to hear that. But I got this and I got PhDs and degrees. And I sit up here in the office and I'm Secretary of State and I'm the governor or whoever you call yours. You don't know how much money I got in my bank account, and your bank account don't look like my bank account. And yes, you too. I don't care what your bank account look like, because at the blink of an eye, your bank account can be completely wiped out. And you can be laying on the street, shaking a tin can, not knowing where your next meal is coming from if you don't learn how to humble yourself. Listen, I'm just a messenger. Don't get mad at me. I am just a messenger. I promise you, God sent me here to deliver this message to you, because there are way too many people out here in this world who don't even recognize the reality of knowing that you are not better than anyone else. And it's a lot of people out here that refuse to humble themselves. And on top of that, you have suffered for your lack of humility. You're still suffering for your lack of humility. And if you don't learn how to check yourself, you will continue to suffer for your lack of humility. I'm just giving you a reality check today, because there's too many people out here that don't know how to humble themselves. If you are wondering, okay, listen, just giving you something to think about. If you are wondering, why have I been suffering in some of the ways that I have been suffering, or going through some of the things that I have had to go through, and I don't even see a freaking way out of some of these situations that I am in right now? Check your humility scale. Where are you on that puppy? Because it just might be that you are where you are as far as a certain situation is concerned. We all go through struggles in life. Excuse me. Some of us struggle with some things more than others. But if you are, wow, I don't know why I keep going through this. What is going on? And I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And you're trying so hard to be so perfect in different areas of your life, and you keep running into the same brick wall. You still struggling, you still suffering, and you can't shake this monkey off your back. It might just maybe, I might be wrong. Listen, I'm just the messenger. Just maybe you have not learned how to humble yourself. That might be your issue. That just might be your problem. Listen, I'm trying to help y'all. I'm trying to help you today. I'm trying to help you get past over that hill, past that thing that is holding you up. I'm trying to get you over so you can get past that thing that you've been caught up on for way too long. It's probably, just maybe, because you have not learned how to humble yourself. That could be the source of your suffering. I'm just saying it's a possibility. It's a possibility because a lot of people don't know how to humble themselves. So, yes, a lot of people need to realize that they are not better than anyone else. And that is just the fact of the matter. So those who practice humility knows how to listen. Listen, you might want to take, I don't know if you want to take some mental notes, some physical notes. Grab yourself a pen and a paper. You want to put this in your memory bank. I would not rely on my memory too much if I was you. I have found that is not very effective just from my own experience, but I'm going to give you tools that is going to help you. Those who practice humility knows how to listen. Listen more than you talk. A lot of people do more talking than listening, and I love to talk. I love to run my mouth. Listen, I always do. I always got something to talk about. I'm not going to say I'm very opinionated, but I think that I am very wise, and I believe that a lot of things that I have to say is can be helpful towards other individuals. But even though I am wise and intelligent, I am learning how to listen more, because there is something in what somebody has to say to me that can allow me to either help them, help myself, or help somebody else. So I'm learning more how to shut up. Excuse me, y'all. So, those who are truly humble, or those who practice humility, knows how to listen, express gratitude to others and to their higher being, and they put others first. There's nothing wrong with putting someone else first. Now, I am big on self-care and taking care of myself. I don't want to make it seem like I am contradicting myself or anything like that, because I believe that if we don't focus on doing what we have to do for ourselves and prioritizing ourselves, we cannot effectively show up for others if we don't take care of ourselves. I stand where I stand with that. But I put others' needs over top of my needs on the regular basis. I just do. And that is a part of being humble. I love to feed people. I cook a lot. I feed people a lot. And I would rather feed someone else, or before I feed myself, I'll make sure other people eat, or, I volunteer my services in local shelters and things like that. And there are times where I haven't eaten at all, but I make sure, people, dozens and dozens and dozens of people have a hot meal on their plate or in front of their face before I even eat. That is a sense of humility when you know how to put others' needs before your own. So humility is having the right attitude. Arrogance and pride is not the right attitude. If you don't have humility, you are not carrying a positive attitude with you, and that's not going to benefit you much. It might feel good. It might feel good to puff yourself all up with your accomplishments, and you know what, that person such and such ain't doing what I'm doing, or they don't have what I have, and at least I have this and they don't have that, and all that kind of stuff. And it might feel good temporarily to be all puffed up with your own accomplishments, but that is a negative attitude, and it is not going to grow you, and it is not going to help you. So I'm trying to help y'all to help yourself today. So humility is having the right attitude. So then listen, you might not want to have a lot of humility with yourself. You may not want to humble yourself or walk around with the right attitude that is going to benefit you. Obviously, this message may not be for everybody, because some people may have been stuck in their arrogant ways for all of their life, or for as long as they can remember, and that is just what you do. And you have seen the effects that they have had on you and your life. Don't think that you are not going to reap what you sow. That is a law of nature. That is with everything. Laws of nature don't skip past nobody or nothing, not even practicing humility. What goes around absolutely is going to come back around and find its way back to you. So true humility is power and obedience. So some people can see humility or might think of humility as a sign of weakness, and it's not. It is activating true power within yourself and putting yourself in control of the direction that you want your life to go in. When you allow yourself to be humble, it's knowing what you want for yourself. You want peace and calmness and direction for yourself when you learn how to be humble and practice humility in your life. So, it is power and obedience. Humility is learned behavior. Some people, who child, and I can just think of some people that has been damaged as far as humility is concerned, even from a young child. People got them thinking that they somebody that they not. And I'm not going to name no names, but you know who you are. You know if that is you, that somebody got you all puffed up and thinking that you somebody that you not, and you ain't got a humble bone in your body. And you know how that's been playing out for you. You know how it's playing out for you right now. There are people out here that I know personally that are devastatingly affected in some of the worst ways because of their lack of humility. Because of your lack of humility and your lack of humbleness. And on top of that, they still won't change. They still won't change. These people got this stuff beat into their head about how they think they somebody that they not, and I am who I am, and I'm better than you, and you ain't me. Okay, you keep thinking that. Despite of your suffering, you can continue to think that you are someone that you are not, and you will continue to suffer. That goes for Lottie, Daddy, and everybody. If it don't apply, let it fly. But to a lot of people, it apply. And I know it do, because I know people personally that are so full of themselves that they just can't fit nothing else in there. Filled to the top. You are maxed out with yourself. Just so full of yourself that you can't even pack nothing else in there. Just full of yourself. And you have experienced suffering behind your lack of humility. That's not going to change. That is insane. If you think that you can continue to be the same way and do the same thing and think that things are going to get better in a certain aspect. If nothing changes, nothing changes. You will continue to reap the same suffering until you learn how to humble yourself. That's just the fact of the matter. So we must overcome our inner demons to remain humble. A lot of us have a lot of inner demons that we have suppressed, that we cater to, that we have a jealousy and envy and all of those type of things. For whatever reason, you are insecure, you are not focusing on yourself, the things that you know that you need to focus on. You don't feel good about yourself as a human being, so you just this bitter, puffed up type person. You just got so many inner demons that you are battling within yourself, that you need to bring these things out, acknowledge them, work on them, point them out. I want to get rid of my inner demons. I am tired of battling with myself back and forth, continuing to go through some of the same things over and over and over again. I'm tired of suffering. I am tired of suffering. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I don't want to suffer no more. Go get them inner demons. Bring them out. I'm jealous. I'm full of jealousy. There's so many people out here that is full of jealousy. Hi, haters. Oh my gosh. I'm not even going to go there because I said I'm not going to give my haters the satisfaction of acknowledging them, but they make themselves known to me on so many levels, so many times that they can't even hide it, that they are exposing themselves as my haters, so much so that they are embarrassing themselves in front of other people. I'm like, dang, like, you hate me that much and you are making it obvious that you are one of my haters to the extent that you are embarrassing yourself in front of so many other people. You are exposing yourself for the hater that you are, and you are embarrassing yourself. You ain't jealous of me. You got demons that you need to deal with. It ain't even me. I don't even take it personal. I don't think that I'm this big bad type of person that everybody gotta be jealous of. I ain't special. I'm regular, just like everybody else. I am regular. I am just a simple human being, just like everybody else. I don't even take it personal when people hate on me, because it ain't me that you hate. We are not fighting against flesh and blood. We are fighting against spiritual. This is spiritual. You need to reach down in those demons within inside of you and start tackling those demons. Why are you such a jealous human being? Period. You ain't just jealous of me. You just jealous, period. If you ain't where somebody else is in life, nobody gave me anything. I work hard for my peace of mind, and where I am today, I came a long way. You won't even understand the level of darkness that I had to fight my way out of, even for you to be jealous of where I am in life right now. You probably wouldn't even survived it. It would have killed you a long time ago. What you jealous of? My struggle? My fight? What are you? You don't even know you jealous of something, and you don't even know what you jealous of. That's funny. That's funny. But anyway, y'all battling with some demons. We all are. We are battling with some demons that we need to get down to the source of why we are the way that we are. So go ahead. Let's sit down somewhere and think about it. What are those demons that I need to acknowledge? That ain't fun being a hater, I'm sure. I'm not one, so I don't know personally what it feel like to be a hater. But I'm sure that it's not fun being a hater. You got all those negative emotions riling up inside of you. Every time you see joy, peace, and happiness over somebody else that you yearn to have, and all of these things are stirring up negative emotions when you could be focusing on your own peace of mind instead of being envious and jealous of someone else's. You could be working on yourself, but no. You want to be sitting there wasting your life and wasting your time being a hater most of your life. So many haters out here, y'all. It is. I got to do the hater segment of my of my message today because it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous how much people take the time. I don't even have energy. I mean, they be rolling their eyes and they like to bump you and all type of things. And it's probably more than even what I can see. I know I got some haters out here, but that's okay because that's just my reason. I know I'm popping a little bit. That's all. You know, I ain't going to stop myself from being who I am because people want to hate on me. That's going to make me want to do it even more. But we need to learn how to humble ourselves. So get down to those inner demons and start tackling those inner demons so you can stop being a hater. How about that? So, true humility is depending on God for everything. And I ain't gonna lie, I depend on God for everything, because if God don't do it, it ain't gonna get done. And I know that. I know faith without works is dead. I know I have to do my part, but I know the mightiness of the God that I serve. And like I said, we got these so-called self-made folks out here who think that they don't have to acknowledge God for who he is and the things that he does. But if it had not been for God, I know that I would not be where I am. I know I would not be who I am. I pray on everything and I acknowledge God with everything. And I know that if I need anything, I'm going to have to go to the source, and God is my source. So I go to my source and I depend on God always through everything. So being arrogant and proud is not of God. God does not respect the arrogant or proud person. So I'm going to throw a scripture at y'all. So James 4:6 says, God resists the proud and gives grace to his humble. Number one, I don't want God to resist me. And number two, I need the grace of God over my life. Listen, some of y'all might not care about that. And whatever, if that's you, then whatever, that is you. But I need God to be on my side. I need to be on the side that God is on. And I need the grace of God over my life. I don't want to be so puffed up with pride that God resists me. It says God resists the proud. Go ahead and be proud. I don't want God to resist me. I don't want that to be my reality at all. And I need God's grace on my life. It says he gives grace to the humble. I need grace. I pray for grace. We have to go through situations in life, things that we have to go through on the regular basis. And the grace of God is what's going to help us get through the toughest times in our life. That's all you need, is a little bit of grace. It's up to you how you going to get through it. So the toughest times of my life, through my divorce, through homelessness, transition, my motherhood, losing my mother, losing my father, having to go through the trials and the tribulations of life. Sometimes my only prayer was that God puts his grace upon my life. Let me get through it. Let me get through it. Just let me get through it, Lord. All I need is your grace on my life. And guess what? He did it every time. It's such a relief. It is like a glass of ice cold water in the desert on a hot day. If you thirsty, I'm telling you, the grace of God is all you need in your life. It is so refreshing. I'm telling you, it has brought me a mighty long way. That's why I thought it was important to incorporate this scripture, mainly because of that one word, grace, is that he gives his grace to the humble. So that's one thing that I need to do to for God to give his grace to me, is allow myself to be humble. Then I'm all in, because I want the grace of God over my life. So someone with real humility is not arrogant or overly proud. Arrogance is a coping strategy for self-esteem. Arrogance can lead to loneliness, depression, and lack of direction and success. So arrogance is a coping strategy for low self-esteem. So a lot of arrogant people probably doesn't realize They probably don't even realize that on some level you are as arrogant as you are because of your lack of self-esteem. You don't respect where you are mentally and where you are in life right now. You don't respect yourself as a person. You have a low self-esteem, which in turn you try to mask it with arrogance. And I know some people like that too. So that can lead to a life of loneliness and depression and a lack of direction and success. So none of that is where we want to be in life. So don't be that person. Don't be the person who was so puffed up and full of arrogance that we are suffering with these things that are unpleasant. Excuse me, because we have not learned the art of humility. There is no room for an arrogant person to improve themselves. They don't recognize their own flaws. We all have room for elevation and for growth and for self-improvement. So don't be so arrogant that you think you don't have to recognize your own flaws because you don't think you have any. Knock, knock, news flash. Flash, yes, you do. You have flaws just as well as everyone else does. So don't be so puffed up with yourself that you think that you don't have room to improve yourself or room to grow or learn. Because you do. Humility will get you far in life, and it just will. It did say a lot as far as I'm coming right off my notes. This is from my studies, my research that I did on humility, and I did write down humility will get you far in life because I believe that that is very important. But it said a lot as far is that is concerned that humility will carry you a long way in life. And I just wanted to point out the importance of that just so you would know. Humility will take you a very long way in life. Some people's lives are cut short because of their lack of humility and because of their arrogance. So, life is a never-ending journey of growth and learning. If you want to be the type of person who wants to grow and elevate and see yourself in better places and doing more things and all of those type of things, you want to be able to allow humility to become your reality so you can make room for growth and elevation in your life. So, a person who is not humble does not have a growth mindset. That is dangerous. That is dangerous. You do not want to put yourself in a fixed mindset where everything that you apply to your life is boxed in this one little thing and nothing is budging, nothing is getting through. You are just stuck in your own ways and not allowing yourself to grow and elevate and learn and open up more life for yourself. Life is so short. Like, we don't have that much time here on this earth. We never know when we are going to go. Why would anyone make the conscious decision to box their self into their own stubborn way of thinking and lack of humility? That does not sound very enticing to me. So apologizing after your mistakes is a sign of humility. So if you are a person who knows how to apologize, or if you are not a person that knows how to apologize, you can begin to practice that now. Learn how to humble yourself and say, I am sorry. I was wrong. I apologize. I did not mean to hurt you. Or whatever you have to say. Apologizing is an act of humility. If you know you have made a mistake, get in the habit of learning how to apologize. Some people won't even do that. So recognize your shortcomings and be open to learn. A lot of people will not take their learning and their knowledge from certain sources because they are too puffed up and too proud to learn from certain sources or whatever, and you won't open yourself up to learn. I will learn you never know where your next lesson in life may come from. You can learn from a little child. You never know, but you have to be able to humble yourself enough to know that I'm going to talk to someone with humility, because I never know what lesson I may gain from it. So be open to learn. The more people with humbleness and humility in this world, the easier it is to make positive changes. So this world will just be a better place. All in all, this world would be a much better place if we had more people with humbleness and humility. It just gave me the reality of our politics and our government and people that stand in office or who has stood in office or whatever. And certain people are so puffed up with arrogance and pride that they you can't tell them nothing, and they already suffer for being that way. But that's when it says the world we will open this world up to positive change if we had more people with humility in it, or if more people learn how to be humility. It just made me think about some of the things that we have to deal with certain people in higher offices and all of those type of things. Some places there are just not an ounce of humility there. And on top of that, the reality of it all is that we serve a God that is bigger than any government official, anyone who sits in any high place anywhere. I don't care what your position is, how high you sit, what your rank is, or whatever. We serve a God that is bigger than it all. And sooner or later, you will have to answer for the decisions that you make, especially when there are other people's lives that are concerned. When you are in control of other people's lives, and the decisions that you make are going to have a direct impact on other people's lives. So you go ahead and continue to be all puffed up with yourself because you sit up in this high position or whatever. But if you don't humble yourself and make the right decision right by God, we need to reverence God in every decision that we choose to make. You will have to suffer, especially where other people is concerned. Officials, I don't care, priests, people in certain religions, and all of those type of things. Some people say that they think that they can say anything out of their mouth in front of their congregations or whatever your religion is. I'm not talking to any particular religion, but remember that you are going to have to answer for the things that you say to people, because at the end of the day, they are God's people. And if you know that you are being an influence in any type of way to people, and you are saying things that are not of God, and you are teaching in a way that is not going to be recognized as a good way as God, of God, in a way that God is going to approve of, the things that you are teaching his people, you are going to have to answer to that. I have saw people stand up in front of people and say some things out of their mouth that they just should not say. And I'd be like, ooh, ouch. I would be afraid of what God will do to me if I get up here and say things as if I'm God. So some people need to learn how to humble themselves, even those that sit in high places, because you will have to answer to that. So, woo, child. Sorry, not sorry. I'm glad I said that. Humility encourages growth and unity. We will be even in our families. That is what the unity part gave me. We have so many divided families because of the arrogance and cockiness and pride of some of the people inside of our own families. You need to sit down somewhere and humble yourself too, because you're going to have to answer for that too. There's no unity there. How can we have any unity with inside of our families if we don't know how to humble ourselves? And some people can be the cause of the dividedness within certain families because they have not learned how to humble themselves. So, humility is strength. It is not a sign of weakness. Research has found that being humble offers both physical and mental benefits. People who are humble tend to have greater happiness and satisfaction in life. They also experience less stress and anxiety. I'm sold. You ain't got to tell me nothing else. I don't want stress and anxiety over my life. I want happiness and satisfaction with where my life is. I want to be pleased with where my life is right now and forever. I want to have a beautiful experience in life. I want to enjoy my experience in life. And if me being humble and having more humility, I'm going to practice humility more often after today. That's when I do these life lessons and I focus on certain topics. It allows me to learn from them and observe myself in these areas and work on my own flaws. I want to practice humility even more. If it's going to affect my mental and physical health in a more positive way, I'm sold. I am 100% all in sold because I care about my mental health and I care about my physical health. Those are things that are important to me. And not being humble is not worth sacrificing my mental and physical health. Is it worth it? Some of us are puffed up and stuck on these ways that are not benefiting us in any kind of way. But at the end of the day, you have to think about it. Is it really worth you being that way? So, humility allows us to maintain a realistic and balanced view of ourselves and the world around us. True humility is knowing that you're still just a person, just like everyone else. Humble yourself, or you will be humbled. And that's how I ended this message on humility. That was so powerful and so much needed. I cannot even admit. Y'all can sit up there with your legs crossed, sipping on your coffee and acting like you ain't trying to hear this message on humility. I needed this message on humility. And I know I did. We can all use a message on humility and learning how to humble ourselves in certain areas of our life. I'm not going to sit up here and act like that this message does not apply to me. I know it does. And I want to open myself up to being a more humble person and a person with more humility in my life. This message was for me as well. So whether you choose to open yourself up to being more humble or not, or being a more humble person, or a person with more humility, whether you choose to allow that to become your reality is absolutely and totally 100% up to you. It is your choice whether you are going to make this a part of your everyday life or practice it. It is learned behavior. Practice these things on a regular basis, but just know the things that I mentioned in this life lesson today It's real. It's the reality of it. Doing these things opposed to not doing these things, and the consequences and the effects that these things are going to have on your life. I'm saying these things because it applies to all of my life lessons. I don't want to solely go off of my philosophy in life or my opinions or just tell you what I think. This is why I come up with these facts. I research these things and I come up with facts. I come across psychological studies where people actually study human beings over time, and this is the results of psychological studies. So don't think that this is just my words that I am just writing down. A lot of them is not a lot of them, but some of these things are my personal opinion, my personal experience, my knowledge and my wisdom and the things that I have learned in my almost 44 years of being on this earth. And I don't want to be cocky or bullheaded or puffed up or proud or full of myself or closed in or narrow-minded. I don't want to be the type of person that will close myself in and not allow myself to experiencing the fullness that life has to offer me. I don't want to be that person. And a person who does not have humility are putting themselves in that path of closing themselves up to what life, the joys and pleasures and peace and happiness and the things that life has to offer you, because you want to be so puffed up with yourself that you don't want to open yourself up to a little bit of humbleness and humility. Some of us need a slice of humble pie. Okay, so go ahead and get yourself some, because like I said, if you do not learn how to humble yourself, this is not a threat, this is a promise. If you do not learn how to humble yourself, you will in fact, in one way or another, or in one day or another, at some point of time in your life, you will be humbled. I don't make up the rules. I just don't. I try to abide by them, but I don't make them up. Anyway, I'm going to end this message with a quote and an affirmation. Shout out to you guys who are here watching this message live stream. God bless you. Thank you. You got it fresh. You got it hot. You got it first. I hope that this that you get something out of this message, that it touches you in a place that you need to be touched, or resonates in your spirit where you need it to resonate to you. It gives you exactly what you need, where and how, and just exactly where you need these things to be placed at in your spirit. If it's not exactly for you, you might want to hold a message like this in a place in your heart, because it may be a day that you will be confronted with, that you will have to activate your humility and be more humble, or you may have to express the importance of humbleness and humility to those that you love, to prevent them from walking down a path of destruction. You are here listening to this message on humility for a reason. I thank you for your presence here, and I hope that it blesses you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. That is for those of you who are here watching this message live, and for those of you who will watch this message later. So my quote is from a man named John Buckman, and he was a famous novelist, and I believe he was some type of government official as well. He was born in the late 1800s and was famous in the early 1900s, and became a famous novelist amongst other things. So this is what Mr. Buckman said: without humility, there can be no humanity. I am so glad that Mr. Buckman left us with those golden nuggets for us to live off of. And I do believe that there are some truly humble people out here in this world today. And those humble people are why the world is what it is. And I am grateful for those humble people. I hope to be a truly humble person who knows how to activate my humility, opposed to me not being a person full of humility and humbleness. And thank God for those people. I just pray that those things become contagious, that we all learn how to be more humble and full of humility for the sake of our humanity. And that is why this quote stood out to me so much. Without humility, there can be no humanity. So if you are a humble person, I thank you. Please continue to be that way and allow other people to see the humility within you, that they may have a piece of that rub off on them for many years to come. Because of the state of where we are in this world today, I don't think humility plays a major role in our lives as humanity, as a society, or as human beings. And if we can get back to those things, if we can kind of raise up these things a little bit more so that people can see, don't be a quiet, humble person. Show the world how humble you are so they can be that way as well. We need more humility in this world today. And my affirmation is, I am grateful for all that I have. And I want you to affirm that over yourself. Even the grumpy old bitter and complaining person who likes to complain about your knees aching and your back and the weather and your family members and your job and your boss and your bills and all of that type stuff. I want you to take a moment to say to yourself, I am grateful. I am truly grateful. I want to be grateful. I am grateful for all that I have. That is truly a sign of humility, when you can humble yourself enough to acknowledge how grateful you are for the things that you have in life. That is a sign of humility. So say that to yourself. Say it all day long. Meditate on it. Repeat it to yourself over and over and over again. Continue to say it, not only today, but tomorrow too. Say, I am grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful. Say it right now. Say it with me. I am grateful. I am grateful for all that I have. I am grateful. I don't have to be as blessed as I am. I can be broke. I can be dead. I can be sick. I can be homeless. I can be hungry. I ain't none of those things. I'm grateful. I am grateful for all that I have, even if it's a little bit. Be grateful today. Y'all know how I am when it comes down to gratefulness and expressing gratitude. But during this message on humility, and I was researching affirmations on humility, and it says that expressing gratitude is a true sign of humility. Expressing gratitude is a true sign of humility. That's why I chose that as my affirmation for today. It is very important to express gratitude, to humble yourself. Know that you don't have to be blessed, but you are anyway. that is a true sign of humility. So that is it, you guys. God bless you. Happy May. The birds are chirping. The flowers are blooming. The sun is shining. What is there to complain about? Go out here and enjoy life. Live, laugh, smile, eat something healthy, go for a walk, treat yourself to a water ice cream cone or something today. That's how we do back in Philly. We love us some water ice and pretzels and all those type of things. Going to Rita's water ice when the weather starts breaking like this. Getting us some crabs. Sitting out on the steps. Listen, I'm talking about back in the day. I don't even know if you can still do that the way that we used to do it in Philly. We used to just have a good time just being outside, enjoying the weather and all of those type of things. But I want you to think about this message on humility today. I want this to help you. I want this to resonate with you. If it's something that I said that you did not like, sorry, not sorry. Like I said, if it don't apply to you, let it fly. But if the shoe fits, wear it, because there are more of us that needs to be humble than those of us who are already humble. There are a lot of people out here that needs to learn how to humble themselves, and you can be the cause of your own suffering and your own lack of growth and elevation and moving forward and getting the things that you truly want in life because you refuse to be humble. So humility, that is our word for this week. I know I'm going to say that word humbleness and humility probably 100 more times before Friday even gets here. I am going to spread the message of hope and talk to people in my community as I do on the weekly basis. I enjoy this. God allowed me to do it. He gives me the strength in my mind and my body. Like I said at the beginning of my message, I was not feeling very well for the past few days, and God just allows me to push through and give me the strength and puts it in my heart and in my mind of the importance of this, because I never know how much this may benefit or help someone that may really need not only this message on humility, but any of the life lessons, just to let people know, even though you may come from a dark place, there is hope for you. Or whatever I might say to you, just letting you know, someone with such a powerful testimony that comes from a dark place and is now experiencing the fullness and joy of life. So I feel like I have to spread this message. This is my job. This is what I'm here for. I'm walking in obedience, and I will continue to do so. And I thank you so much for those of you who continue to support me the way that you support me on the regular basis. I am so grateful for that. Without your cooperation and your participation and your likes, your views, your shares, and all of those things, I would not be encouraged or motivated to continue to do the things that I do on the regular basis. So before I get out of here, if you have not going to True Value Knowing Your Worth on YouTube, please go like, share, and subscribe. I am so close to having 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I never thought I would be able to say that. I am grateful to be able to say that, but you can become one of my subbies too. Becoming a subscriber on YouTube costs nothing but your support. There's nothing wrong with us supporting one another. So if you have already, I thank you for doing so. If you have not, please go ahead and take the opportunity to do so. That is True Value Knowing Your Worth on YouTube. Also, my books are available and on sale on Amazon. That is True Value Knowing Your Worth. That's my first book, Walking Treasure, Discover Your Hidden Treasures, Feed Your Soul, Your Personal Guide to Health and Wellness, and Religiously, and that is taking a closer look at spirituality and religion. You can buy the Kindle version where you just have the electronic copy that will be yours on whatever device you choose to upload it on when you purchase the book, or you can have the paperback version where you can just have your own personal copy for your book collection. You can gift it to someone, whatever you choose to do. Just allow yourself to be motivated and encouraged by the words and the hard work and effort and the words that I put into those books, my powerful testimony, and the things that I relay in those messages. So God bless you. I love you. Enjoy this day. In the meantime, look out for more motivational messages, Lord willing. I will be right back here Friday between 9:30 and 10 a.m. Please look for me for just a quick, powerful, motivational message to get your weekend started. In the meantime, God bless you. I love you. And you guys continue to stay blessed.